Welcome back to another episode of Traitor-Dev. A couple little things, more back-end things than anything really. These nodes that you see in front of your face here used to be part of the building blocks mod. And there's actually still a few in said mod. If I knew how to spell building. Wow, why is my keyboard not working? That's weird. Okay, there's still 3 nodes in that mod. Is there something blocking the receiver? So there's still 3 nodes in that mod. These nodes have all been pulled out of that mod and just been transferred over to the levels mod. It makes 0 difference to anything that you have built or will build, unless you were finding them by searching for building blocks, in which case you're not going to find them anymore because they're into the levels mod. They've all been updated to use world-aligned textures, so the noise pattern on these will repeat every 4 nodes, which for most of them you're not going to notice that anyways, but that's just the way everything in the levels mod works, so I extended it to these as well. And while doing that, I fixed a few junction issues on the nodes. So this diagonal one, the diagonals didn't match, which is kind of weird. So every node junction, I forget what it was. Either it went down 1 step or it just was doubled straight across instead of being an even angle like this. The caution tape one here, same thing. So as you can see, it now lines up nicely. And then this alien wall, I believe it's called, it had this pattern on it already, but it didn't have this color gradient to it. So I added this little bit of a color gradient, so it's a little more defined, as you know, being a world line doesn't look quite so repetitive. I thought about changing the shapes on these, but as you can see, clearly that did not happen. So, it's whatever. I don't know why I have cracked concrete. I actually want a... Oh, you know what? I can't get a smoke grenade that way. Smoke grenades were changed up just a little bit. Give me items, smoke grenade. Wow, got it right. So now I should have actually done multiples. If I throw it at a building wall, it'll bounce off the wall. And when it hits the ground, it'll release the smoke. And if I just throw it at the ground, when it hits the ground, it will release the smoke. Essentially, all it's doing is, on a collision, it checks what the Y velocity is. Y is up and down in my test for some goofy reason that I don't know. And if it's 0, it releases the smoke particles and destroys the entity. So yeah, you can bounce it off walls until it hits a level surface. It won't release the smoke, which isn't really super accurate, I don't believe. I'm assuming it uses like a delayed fuse. So you pull the pin and you throw it and you got like 3 seconds, 5 seconds or something until it starts smoking. But, you know, this is a video game. It's only going to be so accurate. And then the big part, the part that everybody actually wants to see about, which you probably already saw about, because I did a post last week just mentioning it. We got pallet racking, which we've had for a while. This is nothing new. And then just for demo purposes, I guess we'll put some this way too. You can put pallets into the pallet racking by clicking with the pallet on the pallet rack. Like so. If it already has one in it, you can't put a new one in it. And you can't put a taller node than what will fit inside of it, but obviously the taller one will hold the taller one. And if you stand and face sideways to it, it doesn't matter. It is matched up to the node's rotation, so they'll always be facing the correct way where a forklift or pallet jack could get in there. With this change, if you want to place a node on top of the pallet racking, you do have to do a shift click, because otherwise you're going to try to put it inside of. And actually, even if, let's see, how can I do this best? Oh, I think I can just climb on the rack and do it. Even if the rack is filled, right clicking on it still won't place it. You have to do the shift click. In that case, you won't get the correct rotation. It'll do whatever rotation you're standing from because it's placing as a node versus an entity. If you want to break the entities out, you can right click or left click with the hammer, or if you break the whole rack, it'll also remove the entity, which is handy because that way if you're tearing down the whole thing, you don't have to, you know, do extra steps. It should all be respecting protections and stuff. So if you are part of the area, you should be able to put the pallets into the racking. I mentioned already that the height stuff works. Let me see, what else do we have? What else do we have? I think there was one or two other little things. All of these wooden crates and the sci-fi crates, you still can't put stuff into. I know I think the last video I had mentioned about maybe changing that. Just the way they're registered and the way that putting items into nodes works. It basically, if there's a group, if the node has a group of stashable, you can stash things in it. I know, who'd have thunk that'd be the name for it. Well, the way these are registered, I wrote a function that uses a name, which is the node's internal name and also the texture name, description, and a sound. So it takes 3 arguments to the function and registers the entire node accordingly. In order to add the stashable group, I would either have to amend the function to take a group thing, which I don't even know exactly how I would do that because I feel like I've tried that before and it never works because a group is a table and I couldn't pass a table to a function for some reason. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing because I'm an idiot. That's probably the case. But I digress. So these you still can't stash things in. At some point in the future that will probably change, but it hasn't yet. And then the retail shelving here, you still cannot put items into just yet, but with the dawn of a brand new era. Wow, this is embarrassing. There we go. The dawn of a brand new era of putting entities into nodes. And now that I've figured out all of the code on how to do that and get the rotation stuff working and breaking and all of that good stuff, I think that's gonna be a thing that will finally exist, where you'll be able to put stuff onto these shelves. There's a bit of math that I have to do yet, you know, to figure out the different heights on the shelves, but just small details. So that at some point will be coming. I'm not sure exactly when. I haven't had a ton of time to work on this as of late. I did get Stable Diffusion back up and running though, which is good because, well, I've had Stable Diffusion running one version of it, but that version doesn't offer seamless texture output. The Dream Textures add-on for Blender, that one is one I was having issues with. Well, I finally got it working again, and it has seamless texture options, so we'll probably start seeing some new textures trickle in because I can finally generate them again. Yay! I think that's it. Oh wait, did I do a new? No, I did not. Okay. I'll just leave that for next time. There's a little something I've been working on, but it's not done yet, evidently, or at least not in here. Also, ignore these notes. They don't exist on the server. I don't know why they're in my local game. Okay, I think that just about does it for any of the changes. So if you want to play on the server, the information should be down in the video description, I think. If not, you can just search the server list for In Our Midst, or if you visit my website, which is linked down in the video description, it'll take you to the page with all the server information, and you can join that way as well. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.